My next guest spent 2 years behind the counter in a bookies in Birmingham. He tells a story of addiction, violence at times, and fear. We'd love to hear from you as well if you're a regular customer or you've worked in a bookies. What's it like now? 0500 288 291. Email vine@bbc.co.uk. And there's the blistering Facebook page and everything else, Twitter and so on. Find us there. Harry Vale joins us from Birmingham. Good afternoon, Harry.
Hi, Jeremy.
So a couple of years behind the counter.
Yes. I quit about a month ago.
And I don't go in betting shops much. I think maybe I've been in twice in my life, so you can help me understand what goes on. But I always think behind the misted glass windows, people are placing bets on horse races, and they wait for half an hour, and their horse doesn't win, and they go off and have a pint. Now, am I wrong?
I'm sure that's how it used to be about 20 years ago. At the moment, you can go in and place a bet on horses, dogs, or virtual horses and dogs every 2 minutes. Roughly. Otherwise, yeah, you're just going to spend your time on the machines.
But so the betting is now going through these fob tees, is it?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Each shop is limited by law to 4.
And what do you do? How do you play them?
It depends what you want to play, really. You come in, you can either load money via me at the counter by debit card or cash, or you can just put notes, up to £50 notes at a time. And you can play roulette, you can play slots games, scratch card games, virtual racing, virtual greyhounds, anything really.
And you're feeding money into the machines?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And how much are you feeding in?
I've seen people holding wads of 50s, just loading 50s in at a time.
And so as the shop staff, you're watching people doing... Well, give an example of a customer and what happened.
Oh, okay. Well, we've had a regular customer who would come in. He generally played roulette, but sometimes slots. He'd load about 40-50 quid a day, invariably lose, and he would just lose his rag, go mental, really. If he wasn't attacking us, like verbally, he was spitting at the machines or hitting the machines, throwing chairs around the shops, threatening members of staff, and it was only recently that he was actually barred from Labrooks. But that's like a daily occurrence, really. So for you behind the counter, it becomes you're on the receiving end of a lot of anger, are you? Yeah, often. Yeah, I mean, sometimes like they can be surprisingly friendly to you at the same time as like beating up a machine. But yeah, I mean, if you don't like, generally you want to just try to avoid talking to them, otherwise they can lash out at you. Or and you saw a lady in her 60s come in and she was loading money onto her husband's card. No, it was her card, and she was loading the money on for her husband. She was loading £200 a time, and he was doing like £100 spins, so losing every 20 seconds basically. And then as soon as he lost, he would like kind of like grunt at her, and she would come up to the counter, put another £200 on, and like quietly whisper to me to keep the receipts behind, so her husband doesn't like keep track of how much he's losing. And it was just like the worst, because she just broke my heart, because she was just like the sweetest old lady, and I just felt like I was taking money directly from her, I was stealing from her children's inheritance. So it was grim. And in 5 minutes he lost how much, do you think? He got up to at least, I mean, I must have had like 5 or 6 receipts, so at least 1,200. 1,200 in 5 minutes? On a machine, my goodness. Yeah. And was she saying to you he's going to win soon? Or yeah, she was basically, she like kind of looked at me with like doughy eyes, and she was like, "Oh, you do see people win on the machines occasionally, don't you?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, it does happen." And do you think we'll win? Well, I don't want to promise anything. And all I want to do is just like kind of grab a card and cut it in half and say, "Just leave, go," before you lose any more money. But there's so little you can do, really. So they load their cards, they play the machines, and they just get cleaned out? Pretty much. Okay, do you feel, as you're saying, you sort of want to say, don't do it. I guess there are warnings as well for responsible gambling and so on. Do they work at all? No. That particular incident was before the machine limits. But if you ask any bookie about the responsible gambling limits, they'll all tell you that they're useless. I mean, Labrooks themselves have said that the mandatory machine limits have little to no effect on gambling habits. Most, if not all, customers, as soon as the message pops up on the screen, they just instantly click it off. Oh, I see. You have a message, but you can just swipe it away, can you? Oh, yeah, instantly. It just comes up saying, "Would you like to set limits or talk to GamCare, which is a charity for problem gamblers?" But I've never seen a customer actually read it. They've just instantly pressed a button just to get back to spinning.